Hello everybody, it's Audie and welcome to my channel Cozy Dragon Crochet. Today I'm going to be testing out some new spring patterns, so let's get into it. I decided with some markets coming up in May, I got two back to back. The first one was originally supposed to be in April, but they moved the date to be the weekend before Mother's Day, which might have like a better outcome, I don't know yet. But I decided because I have markets coming up, I should try out some new patterns. So I decided to focus on spring ones since this video is coming out in the first week of March. So I got 5 different free patterns from Instagram, which are all going to be linked down below, that I'm going to try out for you guys today. So first and foremost, we have the Teacup Frog, which is by Bamser. I don't think I pronounced that right, but yeah, we're gonna go make it. Let's go do that. For a frog, I have an array of things going on here. Majority of it is gonna be made with Premier Parfait Chunky. I have an unopened skein of mint I gotta use up. I did have some key lime. I ran out, and as I'm on a yarn ban to try and get rid of as much yarn as I can before I move out, I can't buy more, not right now. So yep, we got Premier Parfait Chunky in mint, Premier Parfait Chunky in white. I forget what this color is called because I don't have the band anymore, but this bright pink. And then I have it's everywhere. I have this Yarn Bee Adorable in Sage. So I'm gonna use some of this for the leaves. This is gonna be a frog color. I wanted a froggier color. I don't have a froggier color that is lighter than this. So it is what it is. That's what we're working with. I'm going to be using a 5mm hook because that's typically what works with this stuff. Depending on your tension, you might have to size down to 4.5, but I typically use 5. Yeah. Oh, and then I'm using 12mm safety eyes and this black low pill acrylic from Yarn Bee as well. The only craft store near me is Hobby Lobby, and as much as I hate half their yarn quality and hate their business practices as a whole, sometimes I'm in a bind and I have to go to them. Rest in peace, Joanne's. She was my favorite. And she decided to close because, you know, she hates me. I'm kidding. But yeah, unfortunately, Joanne's and Hobby Lobby are the only craft stores near me. So since Joanne is gone, that just leaves Hoopy Loopy. Oh well. So let's get started. This I'm going to start with Premier Parfait Chunky and Mint. I found out that they're getting rid of some colors, and I'm kind of sad about that because, again, yarn ban, can't buy it. And also the pink lemonade color that I tend to use for some of my axolotls, it was already sold out. It is what it is, you know. Can't really do much about it. But while I'm crocheting, I figured I'd go ahead and give you guys some life updates. If you're even at all interested in my life, probably not. The algorithm has been hating me the last couple months until I posted probably the worst video I've ever made. It was like a short form compilation of cat pictures. The most views I've ever gotten on my channel. It's unfortunate, speaking of cats. I have a crochet buddy. I have a crochet buddy. Hi, Noki. That is my cat, Loki Pokey. She's just called Loki. Loki Pokey's her nickname. But, she's very sweet. She's very cuddly. She's in my room 99% of the time because she doesn't get along with any of the other cats except for my other child, Thor. Thank God, because, you know, they're siblings. Thor came first. Loki came second. Thor was the one who broke into my house when he was a baby. And we were going to originally surrender him to a shelter, but I decided I wanted him. He came as a very injured baby. He was missing half his tail, which is why he only has half a tail. And he also had some injuries to his face, like he got attacked by something. We took care of him. Now he's all fine and dandy. And he's a cute little cuddly thing now. For the most part. If he doesn't like you, and you try to pick him up, he will bite you. But I'm Mom. He hasn't bitten me since he was a child. Like a tiny child. And he's like 4 or 5 now. Which is kind of crazy. Doesn't feel like I've had him that long. Loki's also around the same age. She's like a year younger than he is. I got her from an animal shelter. Well, I didn't get her. When we got Loki, we only had like 3 cats at the time, I think, around there. We had Spaz, which is our oldest cat, and Talia, who's like 9 or 10 now. And yeah, I think that was actually it. Because we had a 3rd cat named Layla, but she wasn't compatible in our household. She did make a really great emotional support animal, just because when someone would cry, she would literally walk up to them and like snuggle on them. Amazing for an emotional support animal. So we ended up giving her to my cousin who needed one at the time. So she has a loving home, thankfully. But I got sidetracked. Thor ended up being our 3rd child. And then because I had Thor and my brother had Talia and my mom had Spaz, my dad was like, I want one that snuggles on me. He wanted a cat for himself. So he was scrolling through like the online shelter site, and for some reason he asked me like, if you could have any cat you wanted, what would it be? And at the time my dream cat was a black cat named Loki. And I guess while he was going through the shelter site, he found a black cat named Loki. And he ended up bringing her home. Even though he was looking for a cat for himself, he ended up finding my dream cat way earlier than I wanted to have a dream cat in my life. But that's okay. I love her anyway. Yeah, that's how she came into the family. She was a surprise cat present from my dad. That's that one. Thor came first, Loki came second. She wasn't like an itty bitty baby when we got her either. She was almost a year old, about 9 months. So I kind of wish I had a baby stage with her, because I've had a baby stage with all the other little bitty guys. But it's okay. I can live with the fact that I will never get a baby stage back from Loki. It's okay. I want a 3rd child, which is where Valkyrie came in. She was another stray around my house. We have a lot of strays in my neighborhood. She was an itty bitty baby. One of the cats we have now, Cleo, her sister Chatty is a stray still. She's a slick little thing. She doesn't like to be caught. But she had babies, and in that litter got attacked by one of my neighbor's dogs. One of them didn't make it, unfortunately, but they rescued the other ones, and we're trying to find them homes. And that is how we get Valkyrie and Pixie. Valkyrie, it looks very like, what is the breed name? It starts with an S. Siberian. She's a Siberian tortoiseshell mix. Pixie's a tortoiseshell. But Valkyrie was going to be my baby. I became very attached to her like the day I met her. Like, she's so cute. She's a fluffy, tiny little fluff ball. She still kind of is. They're very small cats. But as she got older, the more we noticed like she can't go anywhere without being with her Pixie, and Pixie can't do anything without Valkyrie following along. So my parents made the decision that it would be best if they stayed together. So it was either I take them both, which I didn't want to do to my mom because she's attached to Pixie. So I just went ahead and decided that I would just leave Valkyrie behind with her Pixie. I'm a little sad about it, but it's okay. My fiance was a little relieved because he wasn't ready for a 3rd child. But maybe I can convince him to have a 3rd child later on. Don't tell him I said that. another like little update I can give you guys. As some of you know, I'm in my student teaching era currently. So I'm about halfway through that now. I've been trying to apply for teaching jobs because it is that time of year now. I did finally land an interview with my first choice school. So I went to that. I feel like it went okay. But I haven't heard back from them yet. They said that they would call me back either early last week or early this upcoming week. Not early last week, late last week or early this coming week. So maybe they'll call me next week. It's got my anxiety through the roof because my fiance already has a job where we're moving to, whereas I do not. I got that FOMO because most of my classmates already have jobs lined up. I think there's only like a select few that don't. Though most of them, they have their teaching jobs through a scholarship called Grow Your Own, where you have to work for that same school district or work for that school district you signed the contract with for a few years. I did not want to do that, especially since I wasn't sure if teaching was 100% my thing yet. That's why I was double majoring, so that way I could get a degree in both English and secondary English education. Because you can do quite a bit with an English degree, enough anyway. But through student teaching, I'm finding that I really do kind of enjoy, I really do enjoy teaching. So I have decided that is what I want to do for the rest of my life, perhaps. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this mint color out for another project later that we're doing. So I'm gonna need that later. Normally I would be putting my colors away mid-project or like after I'm done with them, just to get rid of that extra clutter. But I don't need to do that right now. It's gonna be the same with this white. I need it to detour. I was tempted to use the Yarn Bee white, trying to get rid of some of it, but honestly, I figured I might as well, you know? Especially since I'm going to eventually, like, I learned that I really like the chenille home slim from Loops and Threads from Michaels. I do really like that. I don't like how much it sheds. I wanted to try the Premier Parfait, what's it called? It's the new one, Plush. I wanted to try that out and see how I liked it. That's gonna be a later thing. Candy yarn, man. I torture myself with these things. I'm using my crappy Hobby Lobby stitch markers for these. Never buy the stitch markers from Hobby Lobby. They weren't even with the crochet section. They were with like the jewelry making stuff for some reason. They're awful. They break typically after one use. There's like a select few that have managed to survive. It was like a bag of like 100 of them. And I maybe have 20 of them left because they all destroyed themselves, which is not great for the environment, you know? Pieces of plastic just immediately making it to the trash can before you can even actually do anything with them. So, one of the many quality issues with Hobby Lobby. It doesn't help that their yarn's been getting worse. Like I had used their yarn for a while, or like their plush yarn for a while. I stopped using it because it started just breaking from the inside out. Hated that. So now I don't buy yarn from them unless it's the Adorable or Velvety Smooth, and I only use that when I'm in a pinch. So, like when I get a last minute commission, I've gotten a few of those. Or if I can't wait the over a week, or if I don't want to pay the $75 shipping from Not $75. If I don't want to get the $75 worth of yarn for free shipping from Premier. Because I also don't have a job. The funny thing about student teaching, you're paying to work. Make that make sense? There's some school districts that have been like somewhat working with that. Like there's one school district in Missouri that pays their student teachers a very small sum. Definitely not like enough for like a actual job, considering how many hours you work, but still better than most districts who don't pay you anything. And it comes with the territory, I guess. And that is also part of why there's such a bad teacher shortage in the United States, because we pay a crap ton of money to be paid next to nothing. We work for nothing. They don't want you to have a job while you work for nothing. And then on top of that, typically teachers don't get paid enough for what they do. Considering like all the hats we're expected to wear. We're expected to be your babysitters, your educators, supposed to be doctors, and all these other things. And we get not paid enough for all those things, for the amount of work that we do. We don't really get lunch breaks, not as long as what we're supposed to. That's not how that works. You're working when you're not at work. You work in order to be able to work. It's a whole thing. But the school district I applied to is actually trying to help with that. Their goal is to like increase their teachers' wages as much as possible. It doesn't help when like half your job is also run by the government. And our current government thinks that education is kind of just, a way to brainwash children into believing their cultish lies. Anyway, moving on. We're continuing our little frug. I've color changed into the teacup color. I'm going to be embroidering details on this later. Some little tulip details. Depending on how this turns out, I might actually make a couple of these for my grandma, not so much for markets, because her birthday is actually next weekend, and I wasn't able to finish that blanket. I think I set my goal a little too high with that one, unfortunately, but that was just how the cookie crumbled. But her birthday parties every year, my aunts try to do like a specific theme and do like a big celebration for her. And this year, it is a classic tea party theme. So, teacup frogs would be pretty perfect, I think. Along with the cats she wanted from me. main part of the frog is done. So now I just have to make the handle, top of the cup, the bottom of the cup. So far, it's been like pretty quick to make. I would say so far it's been a pretty good market make. I think the part that's gonna get me is the embroidery. We'll see. We shall see. Because I don't think anybody's gonna pay more than like 15 bucks for this guy. So if he takes me over an hour, might be a problem. We'll see. Okay, moving on to the teacup foot and rim. So we're gonna do those. I decided I'm gonna go ahead and watch some YouTube while I crochet for the rest of this free, and then we'll catch back up when he's done. The rim and the foot is done. So far so cute. It's starting to look a little bit more like a teacup. I gotta do the handle next, and then it will be time for embroidery. I'm gonna do this for the leaves and stem, and then I'm gonna do the pink for the actual tulip flowers. So I'll see you after I do the handle, I think. I just realized I didn't record the whole time that I was making the handle, but hey, handle's done. So now you're in a little cup, and you can hold it like a little cup. You have to like reinforce it by sewing down the ends a little bit more, but yeah, you can hold it like a little teacup. I was a little worried that it wouldn't be able to stand by itself, but it can. So I'm not complaining. Now it's time to embroider all the little tulip details and then his little mouth, and then he'll be done. our teacup frog is officially done. It did take me about 50 minutes, so just under an hour for everything, which is okay, because like I said earlier, or maybe I deleted it, but since I priced my items based on an hourly wage of $15 an hour plus 7 cents per gram, I tried to, try to find market makes that actually make sense. And I thought maybe nobody would want to buy this for anything more than 15 bucks. So since it took me under an hour, I have to go weigh it, but since it took me under an hour, it might be able to meet that $15 threshold. I'm gonna go weigh it and see. It did end up weighing about 38 grams, so it would cost me a little over $2 in materials. And in terms of like hourly wage, it would have cost $12.50 overall for how much it cost for $15 an hour. So $12.50 plus a little over $2 around that $15 threshold. So yeah, I think it would be a pretty good market make. So I might make a bunch more of these because it did turn out really cute. You do have like an option where like you can, this is what I'm looking for. You can vary like the sizes of the flowers in between. So like every other one is a little bit shorter. I might try to do that on the next one I make of these. But it's so cute. I think my grandma would love these. So I'm gonna make a couple for her. I got a pink one. I might make her a blue and a yellow one because she's getting ready to decorate for Easter. I know how she is. So I'm gonna make a couple more for her birthday. So that's my plan for this week. But we gotta move on to our next pattern. So let's go do that. Second pattern I have to try is a little Bobble Bee by Jen's Crafty Creations. So we're gonna try that out too. There's a 1,000,001 pill bee patterns out there. I'm trying to find one that works better for me. But maybe this one will be it. So let's try it out. Let's go do that. I just realized I have a Thor in the background now. It's my baby. It's my oldest child right there. Anyways, we gotta move on to our next pattern, which is the little Bobble Bee by Jen's Crafty Creations. Like I said, there's a 1,000,001 different pill bee shaped patterns out there. A lot of them are free on Instagram. I'm gonna try this one out to see if I like it better. The one I typically use is one that you have to sew the wings onto, and I don't like sewing the wings on because I feel like they aren't very structured. This one you don't sew wings on; they're like a bobble stitch. If that makes sense. So we're gonna try it out. So I have what I have left of a darker gray Hobie yarn. I know it's not technically black, but it's close enough that it's like, might as well. And then I have Yarn Be Adorable in this yellow color. And then once again, we're going to be using our Premier Parfait Chunky in white. And I decided since this guy is going to be really small and it typically won't surpass the $5 range, I'm going to go ahead and embroider eyes on it. Typically when it comes to my little bitty guys, it's Cleo, my mom's child. But typically since the little bitty guys are given to children or if a parent buys them for their itty bitty kid, I try to embroider the eyes on those as much as possible. So we're gonna do that. Long ramble, but we're gonna get started on that. If it takes me under 20 minutes, it'd be great. Because 20 minutes is the $5 threshold, if that makes sense. And that's not including material cost. So fingers crossed. Let's get started. So as some of you guys may know, I plan on moving out at the end of April. And me and my fiance are currently looking for like a 2-bedroom place because I would love to have an office space for us to share. He's a gamer boy. I like my cozy games as well, but I also would love an extra space for like crochet and the YouTube editing space. I also do writing in my free time sometimes as well. So just having like an extra office space where we can like separate ourselves somewhere would be great. Because we've been doing this long distance relationship thing for over 8 years now. So being able to just live together is probably the best thing we're gonna be doing. We're really excited about it. So, yeah. We'll see how that turns out. I might do like a putting my crochet room together video around that time. We'll see. Kind of just depends on how we're doing with that. Because the rent market where I live right now is garbage, to say the least. So, their rent is insane. And he's the only one who has a job lined up right now. I'm hoping I'll have one soon, but I have no way of knowing yet. It's a hope, not so much something that's like for sure thing. So we'll see. The economy sucks, and being a Gen Z, it makes it so much harder. I am very blessed in the fact that I do not have any college debt. If anything, they've been paying me to go there. And, sorry, I'm getting distracted by a cat getting into things they're not supposed to. But being a Gen Z, I am very blessed to not have any college debt. And also since I've been working as much as I possibly can since I wasn't even 16 yet. I was 15 still when I got my first job. I've been working and saving like crazy since then. So I'm starting life out a little better than most people would be. But it's still been rough, if that makes sense. Especially since I had to quit my job back in December for student teaching. But we're making it. We're surviving. We're getting there. It helps that I have supportive parents. And even though my car has decided to be a pain this past month, my dad used to be a mechanic before he became a business owner. So he helps me out whenever he can. Thankfully. And thankfully, my car doesn't tend to have too many issues. The most recent one is my car door decided it didn't want to open anymore. I actually have a video of it, so pause for just a second so I can show you that. But yeah, the actuator had gone out in the door, and my door was just perpetually locked. You couldn't open it, like at all. So that was just great. But I finally have a passenger door again. Thank goodness. Because I sometimes drive my cousins to school. Can't do that without a working door, you know. So thankfully that is no longer a problem. I mean, this bee's actually bigger than I thought it was. I'm not complaining. Just based on the picture, I was expecting it to be like tiny. Hey, more bang for the buck, you know? I still have to make a bunch of pocket frogs. You guys know the pattern, I use it a lot. I just haven't been able to find like a good yarn to replace the cozy cub I was using for them. Maybe I'll just suck it up and buy more of that yarn. Don't really want to though. I have a ton of green, I just need to figure out what I want to use. Unless I just do like a variety of them. I also have pickles I tend to make sometimes with those greens, but those pickles don't really sell well. The jar itself gets like a ton of attention, but the pickles don't. Which was kind of the opposite effect I was going for. I've had people ask if they can buy my pickle jar, which, no. I got that idea from Katie, the Celestial Homebody, only I didn't use a cheese ball container. I'm allergic to those because I can't have cow dairy. So I bought a bigger glass jar from Hobby Lobby while their glassware was like on sale. and then printed a piece of paper that I had put together on Canva and taped it on there with shipping tape. It looks decent, especially for the way I just described it. It looks pretty decent. But yeah, that's where I got that idea from, was from Katie's Celestial Homebody, that little pickle jar. I need to watch her latest vlogs. I'm behind on her videos. I love that she posts long videos, but they aren't compatible for me anymore unless I split them off into different days. Because there's most days of the week I don't get home until after 5:30, and then I have to be in bed by 8:30. So I get 3 hours to prepare for the next day, do whatever homework I need to do. Which is also why I'm behind on crochet. It's a beautiful combination, you know? It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is what I mean by Loki being only able to, you know, deal with Thor. She can't handle any of the other cats. If any of the other cats were in my room, she would be under my bed hiding from them, or hiding in the window and just sitting and growling the whole time. So that's just the way that she is. Yeah. I'm gonna let you go back to watching your burbs. They've also like slept next to each other. They like to cuddle sometimes. It's rare, but sometimes they do. Their relationship very much mirrors that of both Loki and Thor from the Marvel series. That was completely on accident. I wasn't expecting them to actually do that. Oh hey, I just realized I did this wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. I'm gonna leave that yellow yarn connected actually, based on what we're doing here. It's weird. Normally, like, your color changes happen on the bottom of the stuffy, so that way they're somewhat hidden, but this one, like, right at the top. We'll see how it goes. I'm learning a new stitch today, apparently. I've never done a treble bobble before. I was a little confused for a little bit, because most patterns, they at least have, like, an index of what the, like, the, I can't English right. The abbreviations mean. I see TRBO, and I know BO is like bobble, not body odor, but bobble, and TR is triple or treble. So I'm like, what's a treble bobble? What is that? It's like just 3 loops on your hook. I don't know. So I had to look it up. I'm not the only one though either. I had there was another comment that was like, I know what TRBO stands for, but what does STS stand for? Which is just stitches. So I was like, well, that's okay. And now you know, if you ever pick up this pattern, like, that's what TRBO stands for. It's the treble bobble. Which is definitely an interesting stitch. I've never done that before. Okay, we have wings now. Kind of. Maybe this is like a trust the process situation. I think it was supposed to be bigger, one more in there, but maybe I did them wrong. That's something I'll research later. So I'm not gonna dock points from the pattern just for that, just because I don't know what I'm doing. think the next time I make one of those teacup frogs, I'll try embroidering the eyes on it too, just to see how it looks. If I don't like it, I can always just cut it off. I don't throw away my yarn scraps. I put them in a giant gallon Ziploc bag that's probably like 3 years old at this point. And then I reuse them for stuffing in bigger plushies. Like I'm actually halfway, not even halfway, I finished the head on a giant derby pattern. That's now in my whips basket because I lost my patience. That I would use yarn scraps to help stuff it because it's gonna be so big. I also have like another pattern in there I need to finish. I am the kind of person that's like, I'll crochet what I want when I want. I don't like trying to make crochet into like an actual job, at least not right now, when I need the stress relief that I get from it. It's like, I'll sell all my excess plushies and I'll use YouTube as an excuse to try out new patterns. But I don't want to like ruin it for myself. I kind of started doing that last year where I was like forcing myself to make 1,000,001 of the same plushies over and over again, just so that way I had like a ton of stock, and I stopped worrying about that. And I felt a lot better, and I didn't get crochet burnout. I did have to take a break from crochet last week, not because of burnout, but because I was sicker than a dog. I had some serious vertigo. It was not fun. I'm still somewhat recovering. I still got like the runny nose. No idea what it was, what caused it. I know where I got it from. Because, you know, I work in a school building. And there was like a mystery virus going around one week. I got hit with it really hard. Ended up being restrained to bed for a couple days, and I just couldn't do it. I was gonna be like, I'm sick, I'm home, might as well work out some crochet stuff. Nah, I didn't do that. I instead laid in bed all day and slept. Or at least tried to make up for what little sleep I was getting at night, because that was another problem. I wasn't sleeping because I couldn't breathe through my nose, and I had beady bed issues. My humidifier wasn't doing anything to help at all. We're good now for the most part. Now the spring weather has come out and none of my allergies have been hit. We had a couple days that were just 70 degrees outside, and then yesterday was 40 something. That's like the fun thing about living in the Midwest. You can get all the seasons in 1 week. I still remember one year we got snow in the middle of June. Lasted less than 24 hours because the next day it was right back to being like 80 degrees. Instead of Christmas in July, we got Christmas in June. I've considered moving out of Missouri one day. I don't know. I don't know where I would go. I'm definitely someone who prefers cold weather over hot weather, because you can put on as many layers as you want. But as a woman, I can't take off that many layers. So maybe like a colder climate would be better for me. Especially since spring weather brings me all the pollens, all the sniffles. I don't know. Something I'd have to figure out in the future. I'm more worried about like the next couple years of my life. Both financially and just adjustment wise. I want to be able to buy a house one day. That might be too big of a goal in my situation, but I'm gonna try. I've already been doing all the calculations of how much my fiance and I would be able to afford a month, even if it's just on his income if I don't have a job yet. Which I should, but just in case. So I've been looking into that, and I gotta calculate how much we can afford to put into savings every month. That's also importante. We're on the last few steps of this little bee. So far, he's only taken me about 15 minutes. That's not bad. Remember, I got its cow last under 20. I don't know if I want to put a mouth on him or not. I've been interested in making my own pattern this year. I'd love to do that. I'm thinking some kind of dragon, but I don't know what to do specifically. I don't want it to be like every other dragon on the market right now. I'd love to do something unique. Maybe something my own style. I gotta sketch up some ideas. One of my other hobbies, art. I used to draw all the time. I wanted to be a comic book artist for a long time whenever I was younger. That didn't end up being the case though. Art was like one of my many passions, but because I have family members who are like constantly asking me for things, or like my parents forced me to draw a lot. With my youngest brother when he was a lot younger, I learned to not like it anymore, which is really sad. So parents, take a hint. If your kid really likes doing something, don't force them to do it with their siblings all the time. And it's not fun anymore. It becomes a chore. I've been trying to pick it back up again. It's just... I found other hobbies since then. I am a hobby collector. And they're all time consuming. Just my luck. Anyway, bee is done. I embroidered the eyes on it. I do like the bobble wings. I think if I did it correctly, they turn out a little bit bigger, which would make more sense. But otherwise, I think it was really cute. Color changes being here is a little wonky, but nothing, like, it's not really that big of a deal. If I was really worried about it, I could really just sew some black over that to cover that up. I'm not really that worried about it, so I'm just gonna leave it. Little Bobble Bee. It's okay. It did take me under 20 minutes, which is good. So he can be sold for $5 and still be good. But he's chunky enough. If I use bigger yarn, I could sell it for $8. Okay, moving on to the next one. The third pattern I have made before, but I want to do it again this year, is the Little Flower Baby by redmills_crochet. So we're going to make some of those today. I'm going to try and play around with some colors today. Normally I just do the classic Daisy, but I'm going to play around with it a little bit and see if it turns out differently or if I like it better. So let's go try that. The next thing we're going to make is our Flower Baby by redmills_crochet. So I've brought back the Yarn Be Adorable in Sage, Yarn Be Adorable in this lighter yellow color. Don't know the name because I threw away the thingy bobber. Now I just need safety eyes and flower color. I don't know what color of flower I want to do. Do I just want to do the classic Daisy and try to use more of this white up, or do I want to find... I might actually go get my smaller skein of Yarn Be Adorable in white and see if I can get rid of that skein today, because I'm going to be using a lot of white and a lot of plushies today. Let me go get that actually instead of using my Parfait Chunky. And then I'll find a flower color while I'm at it. Actually, no. White will be my flower color. Even though I didn't want to do that originally, we're going to do that. Decisions. I have this much left of one skein of white. I have other skeins too, so I'm not worried about playing yarn chicken so much with this one. So we'll try and use that up today and try to bust down our stash a little more. So onto our flower baby. I'm gonna watch YouTube while I crochet this as well, and then I will see you when it's done. Okay. This also took me about 25 minutes, somewhere around there. But I think it would go for 8 and be fine. And we have our flower baby. Again, I embroidered the eyes on it because the littler guys tended to be sold to littler people. So yeah. I tried to embroider the eyes for the younger folks. So very cute. I discovered in the pattern tester photos that somebody actually did like a sunflower version. That could be really fun for around the fall time. So I might keep that in mind. But yeah, flower baby. Okay, on to the next thing. For our fourth pattern that we're going to try out today, it is a Boba the Baby Chick pattern by Hook Crochet Co. So this one is like a little chickie and an egg. So I decided to try it out to see if I like it. A lot of these patterns I'm also testing to see if they work well for markets. So I'm timing myself while I make them as well, if you guys haven't noticed. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out pricing, as well as some of you guys know I changed up how I do my pricing now. So now I charge $15 per hour of my time plus 7 cents per gram that the item ends up weighing, because that's how much it costs me in materials, if that makes sense. So yeah, started on the little baby chick in an egg. The next thing I'm gonna make is Boba the baby chick, which was by Hook Crochet Co. So I have my yellow, which is the Yarn Bee Adorable. I'm gonna be using for the egg, Yarn Bee Adorable in white. I actually need to go get another skein of this because this definitely is not gonna be enough. And then I'm gonna go grab some orange, which is Parfait Chunky, I think in shade Carrot. Maybe. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but it's one of the orange colors. So I'm gonna go grab those two things, and then we'll get started on the Boba chick. Bubble baby, the baby bird. I guess the technical shade name for white is Angel, but you know, it's white. I don't remember color names for brands because they're all different, and sometimes they don't make any sense. At least not in my brain. I don't know why I went ahead and started with this. I have a dad to start with first. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started on this pattern, and I will meet you back after I'm done making the baby cheeky. The egg is optional. I am debating whether or not I actually want to make the egg. I think I'll just go ahead and make the egg. We'll see how it turns out. Because again, it's the market makeability, like does it actually work? So far, they've all been working pretty great. Like they're all pretty great market mates so far. Like they make sense for us. And yeah. So we'll see if this is also the case. I think nobody would pay more than $8 for this guy. So we'll see. Little chick heart is done. So now I just gotta make the egg. The chick itself is actually pretty cute. I think I could make a bunch of these and sell them individually as well. But I want to see how it works with the egg and see if that makes it even better. Our little chicken and egg is done. The egg is really cute. It did end up taking me about 40 minutes overall. Not really 40, it took more like 35. So not horrible. It would probably still fit under the $8 price tag range. I don't know. I don't think I'd make a ton of these. I guess I'll say that. We'll see how they do at the market, I guess. But, I know. That's all we got. Okay, I got one more pattern for you guys. Let's go do that. Last but not least, I have another pattern I have made before, which is Lovebirds. I'm gonna go ahead and make it again though, just because I haven't made it in a while. It's been a long time. So I want to try again and see how it does this year. Which, this pattern is by Hugurumi Toys. I can't English today. The dyslexia has been rough this week. But yeah, we're gonna make that. Let's go get into it. Okay, so for our last pattern for this video, we're gonna be making the Lovebirds by Hugurumi Toys. So, of course, you can't just make one lovebird and not make its partner. It kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm gonna be making both variants, which is the yellow and green, which I'm gonna be using the Parfait Chunky and mint, and then the Yarn Be Adorable in yellow for that, along with using this light gray for the feet, and the carrot for the beaks. And then I'll make the white and blue lovebird using Yarn Be Adorable in white and whatever this blue shade is called. Yeah, I'm gonna make both of those. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you would love to be a part of this community, please feel free to do so now. Also, if you have any other like spring patterns that you think could be really great for markets, comment them down below. I'd like to know them. So, yeah, let's get started on these birdies. I've been thinking about like how I could improve my channel lately. Obviously there's not much I can do in terms of like setup or film quality, just because I can't afford to do that right now. And when it comes to setup, my room's the only space I got. So I was trying to think like content wise, like what are some things you guys would want to see? I do plan on working on designing my own patterns at some point this year, probably during the summer when I'm not student teaching anymore. And when I have that extra free time that I usually don't have anymore. And then I would also like to start doing like maybe something on top of crochet, because there's a million and one videos out there people make of like my favorite spring patterns, or I don't know, like the classic crochet trends, I guess I'll say. I want to do something unique, so I was wondering like what you guys would think of. Well, think of me doing like maybe some cozy gaming videos where like in the background I'm playing a cozy game and then I'm like actually crocheting characters from the game. I can do that for Stardew Valley. There's a lot of Crochet by Gil's patterns with the dynamos and the Stardew chickens. That might be interesting. Or like maybe I could do short documentaries where like I research a topic that you guys are interested in and then kind of like turn it into like a storytelling narrative. That is something else I could do. I don't know. What piques your interest, I guess? Would it be weird to like do crochet and documentary type things, or would it be weird to do crochet and commentary? Like, what do you guys think? I want to know your opinion. I just want something, I want to do something that makes me stand out a little more, if that makes sense. Like not doing the same thing as everybody else. It's also part of the reason why I tend to go for like the lesser known patterns for certain things. Like the loaf kittens, everybody and their mother does those. It's just like trying to find other cat patterns that maybe are also really great market makes, but aren't just the classic loaves. Or making it my own in some way. I don't know. Crochet has just become so popular in the last few years. I picked it up during the COVID times, which is around the same time it took off. I didn't do crochet simply because other people were doing crochet. I saw a picture of a crochet dinosaur and said, I can't afford to make that or pay for that, or I can't find it anywhere. So I was like, I'll just learn how to make it. And thus started my very expensive hobby. To be fair, I get at least some of my money back out of it because I don't have space to keep all these stuffies everywhere. So I just sell them at markets. I mean, it was an investment to do markets at first, but now it's a great way for me to sell all of my extra plushies that I don't need. Like, I just make them for fun. I don't necessarily want to keep them around forever. So I dropped my yarn. Yep. So I just started doing markets for that. And it works for me. So I'm not complaining. I just feel like everybody and their mother's doing crochet now. And I don't know how to change what I do to, you know, cater to a bigger audience, I guess. I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't want to like make the last two plushies be just the repeating music in the background. As some of you know, I'm also planning a wedding. We're doing like a Renaissance theme. We absolutely love going to Renaissance fair, though we can't really afford to do awesome costumes right now. It's like something you build up over time. Oh no, my needle just disappeared. Hold on. For Renaissance, my fiance dresses up as like a crow because that was a Halloween costume thing we did one year where we both went as a murder. A murder of crows. So that was really cool and fun. So he uses his crow costume with some like different elements. He's wanting to like improve it in some way. But we're also wanting to do like another type of couple's costume. Specifically, I want to go as a Luna Moth fairy eventually. So I've been like slowly collecting, right now it's been jewelry pieces that could go with that. I have a cardigan I can wear during the cooler months. That's the moth wings. That's from the Mochi Pan. Yeah, Mochi Pan. I have her Luna Moth cardigan. It is definitely as cute in person as it is online, just FYI. 100% go support her brand. Yeah. So I would like to be a Luna Moth fairy, but the thrift stores around us suck. The thrift stores around us suck. And when it comes to thrift stores here lately, they like to overcharge for garbage. Especially Goodwill. Now that they use AI for that, which, oh my god, I hate AI. I think all artists are in agreement when it comes to AI. I mean, come on. In the town that I live in, there was a business that was looking for someone who was well adept at AI and Canva, so that way they could create art for their company. I was so mad. I was like hopping to the comics section to be like, don't be doing that. I wasn't the only one. Like 90% of the comments were like, if you use AI art for your business, just know that you're just going to be driving everybody away. So glad that there was like a general consensus. Yeah, screw that. We're not doing that. I used to use AI because I didn't realize like the impacts it had until it was too late. Especially for like lesson plan building, because they actually teach us in college now to use that to our advantage. And really you don't need to do that either. If you're teaching a unit, 9 times out of 10 there's something out there that somebody has already come up with that you can just use. You don't need to use an AI generator to plan your lessons for you when those lessons are already out there somewhere. Maybe you have to pay for it, but even then it's still created by a human being and that money's going back to another educator. So I feel really frustrated with the fact that I even tried to use it in the first place. Because then I learned about like how it affects all the people around them and the water supply. I've been going towards my environmentally friendly journey, which is why I save all my yarn scraps instead of just throwing them away. Because crochet itself is not a very environmentally friendly hobby unless you use natural yarns, because it's made out of acrylic or plastic 90% of the time. So that can be really tricky. So I would love to find other ways to be more environmentally friendly when it comes to crochet. Like if there's like a chenille yarn out there that's made with recycled plastics, I know I've seen yarns that are made with recycled plastics, which is like really cool. I've used them before. Something like that, or maybe one that's made with biodegradable. I don't know, just something a little bit better. That might be something I have to research later. See if that even exists. If that's even something I can get in the US. But when it comes to like being environmentally friendly, the other part of it too is like if you've already bought like all these things that aren't necessarily environmentally friendly, like all this chenille yarn, it's better to use it up than it is to just throw it away. So I've been working on it, which is better than nothing, but even then I feel like it's not enough. If you know of any yarn brands that are more environmentally friendly, can you comment those down below too? I would love to like know your reviews on them, or if you've tried them before, or if you have any idea what I'm talking about, you know? I think another really cool thing to do when it comes to like being more environmentally friendly is like eventually just embroidering eyes on all of my stuffies. I don't quite have the skills to do that yet. I've been practicing though. I think that would be a really neat thing to do, because there's like tons of black, almost like acrylic yarn where it's made out of proper materials. I mean, there's black cotton yarn, black bamboo yarn I could use for embroidery. I'm still going to use up what I have though. There's a lot of black acrylic that I have. I'm using some for like a crochet hook case eventually. I haven't got to that point yet though. But yeah, I'm trying. I used to be very bad about buying yarn all the time. Like I would buy so much yarn everywhere. Anytime I went to a craft store, I never left empty-handed when it came with yarn. And now that I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to get rid of it all, or at least a majority of it, and stick to maybe 1 or 2 brands at most to support, and also just not have so much, only have what I need. The more I'm like working towards that, the more I'm like, how do these crochet creators have bookshelves, like multiple bookshelves just overfilling with yarn all the time? Like I get that it's like also their full-time job, but some of these creators just continue to buy more yarn than what most people would ever use in a lifetime. Like, holy crap. It's kind of insane, honestly. I mean, I was headed towards that same route until I changed my habits. So like, I understand the sentiment of wanting to have such a big yarn collection. But since I've started trying to be more conscious of where I spend my money and how I handle those kinds of things, the more I'm like, it was so necessary. I mean, it's taking me several months just to get to the point where I can move all of my yarn into one spot. Oh dear. My friend is trying to invite me to a Christian women's retreat. I deconstructed Christianity years ago. Not a lot of my family knows that though. I'm definitely an atheist now, unfortunately. And it's not like I haven't ever tried. I feel like a lot of Christians, when they hear like, oh, I'm deconstructed, I don't believe anymore, they think it was like an easy decision to make, or like something people like impulsively decide to do. That's really not the case. It was a very difficult journey to get to that point. I mean, I was a devout Christian girl up until I was 14 or 15. I was going to church camps. I read the Bible cover to cover just for fun. I mean, I did that just to like feel more connected. But I feel like that was the moment, like when I actually read it and tried to understand it, that I realized that it wasn't quite what I thought it was. You get what I'm saying? I'm hoping it will look better once I embroider the beak. I feel like I put the eyes too far apart, maybe. Maybe they're too big. We'll see. Becoming an atheist was not a very quick journey to go down. It started with the church camps and reading the Bible and realizing that it wasn't what I thought it was. And then it was the getting older and seeing the hypocrisy of it all in the church that I was going to. I don't know. I feel like all of that combined with everything I went through when I was younger, I just lost my faith. I've come to terms with now. It's definitely not an easy road being in a very Christian family. But I'm here now. And that's just the way that I am. I started doing only decreases, oh no. Why did I do that? I think the only people that really know about my Christianity beliefs are my grandma and my mom. My mom is kind of also somewhat on the same path, but she's more like, I'm not gonna go to church because it just seems like a waste of time, like God can be anywhere. And I'm more like, God is nowhere, if that makes sense. Our first lovebird is done. I don't love how it turned out. I think if I used smaller eyes, it would have been better. But it's okay. I'm gonna make the other one, and then I'm gonna call it a day. So let's go make the other one real quick. Okay, time for lovebird number 2. We don't need blue or white anymore because the second lovebird is yellow and green. So we're gonna start with our yellow. Thank you. I ended up putting my hair up. I'm sitting right underneath a vent, and for some reason we have our heat on. I am dying. It's very warm. It's okay. I've been considering dyeing my hair auburn. I feel very monochrome. I'm pale individual, and light hair doesn't. I feel monochrome. I don't like being monochromatic. I feel very yellow. I hate yellow. So I've been considering just dyeing my hair auburn, a cool toned auburn, because I'm also very cool toned at the same time. And I wear silver, black, and blue all the time. But that's just how I feel. I meet with my hairstylist on Tuesday because I have to get these things trimmed so they're not in my eyeballs anymore. I don't want to be like Moses and part the Red Sea to see anything. Just be able to see what I'm doing. So, gotta get my bangs trimmed on Tuesday. And I'm going to ask her how much it would cost. I am really considering it though. Like, I'm really excited about it. Because my wedding dress is also like an off-white color. It has some color on it. My fiance sometimes watches my videos, so I'm not gonna like show a picture or anything yet. Maybe after I get married. But it's got like white and green details on it, and it's like a cream color. It's really pretty. I'm buying it from a seamstress off of Etsy. Which they're surprisingly really cheap on their prices, but they have really amazing reviews, and there's tons of pictures of other people wearing that dress. It's like with the reviews as well. So I trust them. I feel like they're undercharging for their work though. I feel like normally wedding dresses of that stature go for a lot more, especially in wedding dress shops. That's just how I feel. And I was considering like repurposing the dress after my wedding too, instead of just letting it sit in a box for the rest of its life. Maybe I can wear it to Ren fairs and stuff, because again, it's a Renaissance themed wedding. So the dress is very much like Ren fair inspired. And I'm having my wedding in a very Celtic inspired garden area. It's really pretty. I mean, they have a castle door, a hobbit door for another area of the venue. It's really cool. And like it's a bridal cottage, and there's bunnies on in the venue, and there's like a miniature horse, a little miniature pony. But anyway, it's a really pretty venue. So I'm excited. We went to go see it like towards the end of summer, so at that point like a lot of the plant life had died. But there was still a lot of florals out. Definitely wasn't at like its peak color like it will be when I do get married, which is beginning of summer. Of next year, I mean. But even then, there was still so many butterflies everywhere. I mean, I love butterflies and moths, if you can't tell. My favorite bugs. But not to crochet, but my favorite bugs. So I'm excited because it looks really ethereal, really pretty. I'm excited. So hyped. I feel like it's all I ever talked about. It's like my wedding plans. My best friend, who's also my maid of honor, she's gonna be making my save the dates after I get our engagement photos done. And it's gonna be like a stained glass theme. So cool. I was considering doing like a Celtic hand fasting. I have Celtic and German origins, about equal amounts, like mostly. I think German I'm like 40%, and Celtic I'm like Scottish Celtic, I'm about like 30-something%. I'm a very white individual. That would be why. So considering doing a Celtic hand fasting. It's just a thing that our officiant is actually my uncle. And he's a Christian priest. So I don't know that he would know anything about Celtic hand fasting. And anytime I mention it to my parents, they're like, what is that? Why would you do that? That's so weird. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm still like, other people's opinions are eating me alive, I feel like. Maybe once I'm out on my own, it'll be a little better. Maybe I'll decide. I don't know, I got time. I wanted a long engagement because I knew that trying to plan a wedding while also dealing with my first year of teaching was going to be way too much. So we've already started a lot of the plans. We've booked a lot of the things already, except for catering. Yeah. So it's very minimal things that we actually have to do within the year of the wedding, like ordering our dress, getting the bridesmaids to order their stuff. So, here's Japan! Catering has been our biggest issue because a lot of my family have alpha-gal. So I've been trying to find a caterer that will cater to my needs of no red meat, and yet I'm allergic to the chicken protein and dairy protein. So gotta cater to those needs too. And I found one that is a possibility. I have to call them when I get a chance. They work with whatever budget you give them, which for us is about like $2,500. We're trying to keep our wedding under 10 grand if at all possible. Probably not, but so far we've been doing pretty good actually. We're right around 10K, but our catering budget is around $2,500 because there's going to be about 100 people tops, and you have to think about like it's got to be $20 per person minimum. Typically, is what it is. So, and considering my allergy problems, it's probably gonna be a little more. Thankfully, my family's been helping us out a little bit too. Like my mom's getting my dress, and my grandma's getting the cake/cupcakes. I'm actually going to be ordering those from a local bakery that's completely gluten-free and alpha-gal friendly. And they also have dairy-free. Makes me happy. My happy individual. We're getting our wedding cake from there, and we're going to get a majority of our desserts from there. I was considering doing like a mix of desserts. There's a bonfire at our venue too, so we were thinking about doing like a s'mores bar. I think that could be really fun, cool. Hey, Loki. How you doing, Pappy? I love how Thor's just elongated on the bed. He's a long boy. He's not like huge, but he's very long and he's quite heavy. He's a little chunky. But for his weight, you would think he'd be a lot bigger. It's just because he's long. He made up for his missing tail by growing into a young boy. Of course, Loki's over here now. Hi, baby. What are you doing, you bat face? Your face very much reminds me of that of a fruit bat. What are you doing? Aw, she went away. Never mind, she's back. Hey, baby. What are you doing? She loves pets. She hates being picked up though. She does really well with getting her claws trimmed though. I've never had like an issue behavior wise from her when I have to do the nail clipping. guess I did forget to mention how much I would sell the Lovebirds for. I would sell them for about $8 a piece, so $8. So I'd make quite a bit of profit from that because they don't take me an hour, they take me less than an hour. I explain that, it's so weird. They take me less than half an hour typically, so I still make a little bit of money from them. What did you get into, you silly goose? You got like stuff all over you. See? Being a cat mom. She got into something. Somewhere. She got fluffies all over her now. Did you get in the yarn again? I think I got the fluffy off. You're so silly. My youngest brother likes to call her a starlight cat because she has little tiny white hairs just kind of sprinkled throughout, especially on like her chest. There's like not like huge spots or anything, they're just individual little hairs. It's so cute. We talked about the grabby claws, haven't we? When I stopped giving her pets and she was not ready for me to stop giving her pets, she likes to try and grab my hand. I actually have a photo of it from this morning. There it is. She's silly. She acts like she doesn't spend all night sleeping on me and getting snuggles. I don't know how my fiance would do living with cats. I think that would probably be like his biggest challenge, living with me. He's never had a pet before. Or at least his family never has. He's never had a pet before. Our two fur babies are his first ever pets. And he doesn't really live with them. He just visits them every now and then. Thor loves him. And usually when he's over, Mama's chopped liver. He likes his dad better. This one still likes her mommy better. She's always been a really skittish cat. It's not so much like a she hates certain people thing. What did I say about being grabby? It's more of a she hates all people thing. Except for a select few. I mean, even the people in my household, most of them don't get to see her very much. Because she'll hide away from him, especially my baby brother. He's way too energetic for her. She can't handle it. She gets along with my fiance, okay. Yeah. I think it's because he stayed the night here a couple times. So she's gotten quite familiar with him, at least in that instance. He, on the other hand, is not used to, like, even sharing a bed with a cat. So. Okay. Anyway, we are done with our Lovebirds. They're both done. Kind of cute. Wow. Okay. We have finished all of our spring patterns. I love all of them, and I think, other than this one, I think all of them will be really great market makes for me. This one might be a great market make for somebody else. I would get bored of this really easy. I just know myself. Making the eggshell is a little too tedious for me, for my liking. So I probably won't be making a bunch of these. It'll probably just go in my Misfits bin. I actually have a wicker basket for that now that I'll show you in another video when markets start back up again. But yeah, it's cute. Yeah, I think my favorite for today is definitely the teacup frog. This is my favorite out of all of them. I love this so much. I'm going to be making a few more of them before my grandma's birthday in this upcoming weekend. So that way I can give them to her for her birthday. And she can use them to decorate her house. I love that you can hold it like a teacup too. Yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. And I will see you guys in another one. Next video. Whenever I post again. So yeah, I'll see you then. Bye!